My heart burns like fire. Soyen Shaku, the first Zen teacher to come to America, said, "My heart burns like fire, but my eyes are as cold as dead ashes." He made the following rules which he practiced every day of his life. In the morning before dressing, light incense and meditate. Retire at a regular hour. Partake of food at regular intervals. Eat with moderation and never to the point of satisfaction. Receive a guest with the same attitude you have when alone. When alone, maintain the same attitude you have in receiving guests. Watch what you say, and whatever you say, practice it. When an opportunity comes, do not let it pass by. Yet, always think twice before acting. Do not regret the past. Look to the future. Have the fearless attitude of a hero and the loving heart of a child. Upon retiring, sleep as if you had entered your last sleep. Upon awakening, leave your bed behind you instantly as if you had cast away a pair of old shoes. Nimisha says, "This koan captivated me. Acharya ji, please could you help me reflect more deeply on especially the line, 'My heart burns like fire, but my eyes are as cold as dead ashes.'" The heart is a very potent and symbolic word, Nimisha. The heart refers to the truth. The heart refers to the purity that lies at the core of every human being. When Zen teaches that the heart burns like fire, but the eyes are as cold as dead ashes, you must begin with the opposite of the statement. Why? Because the point that the koan is pointing at is a high point, a point beyond, a point hitherto unknown, and therefore a point difficult to visualize. The opposite of what the koan is telling you must be a point close to you, and therefore the koan is teaching you how to go from where you are to where you must be. So, haven't you seen people, Nimisha, whose eyes are burning like fire, but the heart is cold as dead ashes? Isn't that an everyday spectacle? Don't we see that all around us? people who are very, very active on the outside, very lively, very fiery. These are the qualities that occur to you when you mention the word fire, don't they? Brightness, warmth, liveliness. So there is an abundance of people who are very warm, bright, fiery, active on the outside, in their action, in their behavior, in their demeanor. And inside, there is just cold deadness. Inside, there is just a corpse. The Zen teacher sees that and therefore teaches you to not to be like that. What is the teacher witnessing every day? He is witnessing machines that display much sound, much motion, much activity, much productivity, but machines that have no heart. I'm sure, Nimisha, you know many such machines, don't you? That's the type the teacher doesn't want you to be. And therefore, he tells you to be the opposite. He says the fire should not be in the limbs, in the eyes, in the flesh, in the bones. The fire must be at the center. Have you seen a car, Nimisha? Obviously you have. You must have seen a beautiful car cruising along a highway, and it would have never occurred to you that the car is actually on fire. Yes, there is a lot of fire inside the car when it is moving smoothly. A petrol engine or a diesel engine actually witnesses many explosions per moment, per second. There are many bombs going off inside the car continuously. There is a lot of fire inside the car continuously. And that's so beautiful because the fire is inside. If you look at your dashboard, you see the RPM meter. RPM. What does that RPM indicate?
Rotation.
And per minute, each full revolution of the piston inside the cylinder is one bomb going off. So there is the fuel mixture, and the piston compresses it, and then there is an explosion, and that explosion pushes the piston upwards. And when the piston goes upwards. Then the crankshaft moves. And the entire transmission line comes into action. And finally, the motion gets transmitted to the wheels. But behind that smooth motion of the car, there is fire in the engine. There is not only fire, I am saying there are many bombs going off every minute. If you are driving at something like 80 miles per hour and your car is in fine fettle, then there are 3,000 explosions happening per minute. That's the kind of RPM the car has when it is moving at a speed of around 80 miles per hour. 3,000 explosions per minute. But you don't say that my car is exploding. Why don't you say that? Because all the explosions are happening inside. Now change the picture. Let a single explosion happen on the periphery of the car. What happens now? Let a single explosion happen in the cabin where you are sitting. What will happen? Let a single explosion happen on the steering wheel, on the bonnet, on the windshield. Let a single explosion happen in any of the tires. What will happen? Oh, the car is gone. It is not merely disbalanced. It's a mess. Fire is wonderful when it is inside. The same fire is greatly destructive when it is outside. Now, whenever you look at a car, you must remember this. That's what the Zen teacher is trying to teach you. The car must be cool outside. How much do you like the cabin temperature to be? 25, 20. And how much is the temperature inside the cylinder? Even when you are enjoying a peaceful ride at 22 degrees centigrade, what is the temperature in the heart of the car? Thousands of degrees. What if those thousands of degrees come over to the cabin where you are sitting? You will be charred beyond recognition in a moment. Fire is wonderful provided it is at the right place. That's what the Zen teacher is teaching. Stay cool outside and remain a fire within. Outside as cool. He says cold. But the terminology today is cool. Not cold. He says ashes. That scares you. So instead of just saying cold ashes, read it as cool. Stay cool outside and let the great fire burn within. That's the message of this koan. There is a reason, Nimisha, why the Indians, the Iranians and many others worshipped fire. Fire is so pure. You cannot have a corrupted fire. Even if the fuel is mixed or adulterated or corrupted, the fire is always pure. You may say that the fuel is bad, but you can never say, oh, this fire is so bad. The smoke can be bad. The fuel can be bad. Fire is always pure. And therefore, those who have searched for a suitable symbol for the truth have often come to the word fire as well. There have been many other symbols, potent symbols. But fire too has been a very pervasive symbol. Let the heart be on the fire. Let the heart be the source of the energy. Externally, There is no need to get agitated or excited. Externally, let there be a smooth movement in life, just as the car cruises smoothly on the highway, even as the engine is having multiple explosions per minute. Are you getting it? Don't live an opposite life. Don't live a life in which there is nothing in the heart. The heart is dull and cold, ash-like. But outside, there is a lot of sound, agitation, fury, movement. That befits a machine, not a man. When a man does all those things, it is just mental incoherence. When a man does all those things, it is a type of madness. A very sorry madness. You're trying to do much with the body in the world, with the intellect, with the memories, with your knowledge. But there is no center. Recently, Kabir Sahab said, चलन चलन सबको ही कहें, मोहे अंदेशा और. चलन चलन सबको ही कहें, मोहे अंदेशा और, साहिब से परिचय नहीं, जाएंगे किस ठौर. I'll translate it for you. All these chaps, the go-getters, the achievers, they always talk of movement. Chalan chalan sab koi kahe. Move, move, go, achieve, attain, run, fly. That's their lingo. And Kabir Sahab says, but I have a great doubt. Mohe andesa aur. I have a great doubt. They want to move, and they want to move swiftly. But they do not know the source nor the destination. Where will they go? They will move swift and fast. But to where? And that's what we see in abundance around us. People rushing towards their own destruction. Why? Because there is no center to the movement. Because the movement is not coming from an ignited heart. The movement has become its own master, and therefore the movement is senseless, sourceless, heartless, and peaceless. The mind will say, move. The intellect will say, achieve. You must ask, what is the destination? You must ask, from where is the impulse to achieve arising? Let there be no movement of the mind, of the body, except that which arises from the center. And that is a great way to look at yourself and see with discretion how your life is going. Look at all your thoughts. Thoughts are mental action. And look at all your physical actions. So look at all your thoughts and movements, both mental action and physical action, and ask yourself this honest question. Are these movements arising from the heart? How do you know whether those movements are arising from the heart? If they are arising from the heart, then their destination too will be the heart. That which arises from the ego, its destination is the enforcement of the ego. And that which arises from the heart takes you to the truth. So that's how you can assess your actions. What do I want when I am acting thus? I'm meeting somebody. And I would be having lunch with the fellow. Obviously, it is not without reason or purpose. What exactly is my reason? Let me dig out the exact reason from the depths of subconscious motivation. And if you are meeting for purposes of greed or fear or envy or pride, or just loneliness or insecurity, then you must know that the limbs would be moving, the tongue and the lips would be talking, but there would be no heart in the interaction. The action is not coming from the right place, the action is not directed towards the right end, and hence, obviously, the action is not worth doing. Drop it. The moment you come to see that something is being done for an end other than the truth, just arrest yourself, stop where you are. Don't proceed. Don't proceed. Be a good servant. A great car moves only when the engine supplies power to it, right? And defunct cars have to be towed away. There the movement happens even if the engine is asleep. Have you not seen those cars, Nimisha? Where the engine is asleep and yet movement is happening. How does movement happen? The car is being towed away. Or there are 4 or 5 people who are pushing at the car. And in extreme situations, the car is parked somewhere and a truck comes and bangs it and the car is now moving. The car is moving without the direction or assistance of its engine. The car is moving because something outside of the car has dominated the car. Whenever you see that your movement is not arising from your engine, push the brakes. And if the brakes are not functional, jump out of the car. Such a car has gone mad. Where is your action coming from? What do you want when you are acting in this way? Is there any question more important than this? Or do you just want to rush blindly into action? Why? Who? What? Keep inquiring. Encourage yourself to be fearless. Try making brave choices. I'm talking of fearlessness and bravery because it requires a lot of courage to honestly look at oneself and inquire. Answers are not difficult to get. It is the beginning of the inquiry that is most difficult. Deep within you know that your action is junk. Therefore, to save your skin, you will ensure that the inquiry does not begin at all. And if you are fortunate enough to have someone who initiates the inquiry for you, you may not like that person. You will say, this fellow asks me uncomfortable questions. And comfort is such an ugly word, is it not? You say, I don't feel comfortable near that guy. I don't want to go to him. And that seems to be the final excuse, beyond which no discussion, no argument can happen. Once you have said, I do not feel comfortable there, now how are you to be convinced to be there? So begin your inquiry with comfort itself. What exactly is this comfort that you so much seek? Why don't you want to disrupt your comfort? What exactly is your definition of comfort? When do you say that you are comfortable? Mostly you would be comfortable when the heart is asleep and the external patterns are happily operational. Then you say, I am feeling quite comfortable. Cars must be powered by engines. Man must be powered by the heart. Any other source of energy to the car is a disgrace. Any other source of energy and motivation and direction to the man is a disgrace. Full stop.
How to switch the source?
Once you see that the destination is not proper, just stop. Just stop. There is the heart, the engine. There are the old and conditioned processes and mechanisms of the body and the mind. And then there is you. The one who calls himself as I. This you, this I, has a choice. And upon that choice rests the entire spiritual paradigm. No spiritual journey can take place if you do not have a choice. If you do not have a choice, then who are you to practice anything or try for anything or aim at anything? If you do not have a choice, then how can you even suffer? But you do say that you suffer. Suffering itself is the proof of choice. Had you not had a choice, you would have never suffered. Hit a football as hard as you want to. Does it suffer? Because it does not have choice. Choice and consciousness are one. The football is not conscious. The football does not have a choice. You have a choice. And therefore, you can choose to stop when the destination is not proper. You can choose to side with the heart rather than the external nonsense. Exercise your choice wisely. If you will want to question me further, how do I exercise my choice wisely? I'll say there is no answer to that. If you go to Ashtavakra, he will say, the wise one exercises his choice wisely. He will say, the wise one understands at once when the teacher teaches. And fools keep hearing for 1,000 times and yet don't understand. He just describes the actions, the choices of the wise one and the choices of the foolish one. He will not tell you how the foolish one can become the wise one. No process is needed. You just have to reverse your choice. And that reversal requires no process. Because that reversal requires no reason at all. You do not need to have a reason. The reason is already with you. If you are suffering, the reason is present. Flip the choice. Are you getting it?